bullshit here and get some good vibes going. Talking about some cars, talking about the shit we care about in life. Not that we don't care about other stuff in life, but you know what I'm saying. Cars is a big passion of mine, a big passion of y'all's. So let's sit here and chat about it. We're gonna go on a cruise. We're on the west coast of America, and it's raining tonight, folks. We are showing wires on the front passenger side tire. Everything else at the moment is doing okay. Otherwise, the front driver's side's a little bit bald. But we're going to give her a rip. We're going to take it easy to a degree on the heavy steering, so hopefully I don't blow out that passenger front. If that happens, I do have 2 spares in the bed, and I have the tripod with me. So if that's what happens, we are going to film that shit and, you know, talk about the mini truck culture while we're doing it, right? So we're gonna go on a cruise, get some good vibes. I've had kind of a little bit of a wild evening the last 2 hours or so, trying to get my spirits up. Things are kind of a little bit wild, you know what I'm saying? You know how it goes, guys. 2025, as an adult, things get kind of a little bit skewed, stressful. So we're gonna go on a cruise, man. We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna go on a cruise. That's what it's about with the car culture. Go on a little ride. I would normally whip a Yui right here, but since we have somebody parked right there, we're gonna kind of go down here and maybe flip it down this way. There's a purple S10 right here, folks. It's an extended cab, and sadly it is not modified. It's most likely owned by a tweaker or someone with zero automotive taste, right? And that's a damn shame. But at least it's not a regular cab short bed. So, is what it is. But that's it right there on the right. But it's always got some shit in the back. Not that my S10's the nicest S10 out there. I get that, folks, that my build is mediocre to a lot of folks, but it is going to be slowly built and tastefully built. It's not going to be, like some S10 owners that don't have taste. And that's a very few amount of them, right? Most of them have good taste. They have good builds, but there's some that put a bad reputation out there for S10 owners that makes some of our trucks look like trash. There's another S10 right here to the left. I would put it in view for the camera, but it's kind of pointless. It's not like it's modified or anything like that. It is completely stock. What is up? We got 2 viewers. I appreciate y'all. We are going to cruise the drift truck, the S10, 2.2 liter, heavily modified, and we're just gonna talk car stuff, man. Y'all leave a comment, a like, subscribe. I appreciate it, and let me know what you're working on. If you like S10s, if you like 4 cylinders, if you like the LN2 platform, G bodies, let me know. Once I get to a spot where I'm pulled over, I'm about to check the chat again. But right now we are going to be pulling out of this residence, and we're about to hit a skid, so I hope there's a few folks watching. Right? First gear skid. Second. Oh, we're going to do a donut? What's going on here? What is going on here, Buckaroony? Don't chill in 5th gear and ease out of that bucko. Your boy likes all gears in the S10. The 2.2 with some hop-ups will rip. And sometimes I have a hard time keeping out of the throttle, right? Hard time keeping out of the throttle. With the drift truck, that's the worst part of having a drift truck, is not drifting it, right, folks? That's the worst part about having something modified, is not using it for its purpose. It's hard. We're gonna pull over here to this little area. It's like a here it is. It's like a laundromat kind of area, a little pull off with many stores. A little ice cream shop right here on the right. We're gonna pull over, kind of check the chat, see if we got any comments, and see what's up from there, folks. It's been kind of a wild evening for me, so I'm trying to have a little stress relieving chat here. So that's why I got a little carried away with the burnout there. I was trying to get a little stress off the shoulders, if you know what I'm saying. I think a lot of you folks can relate if you are car people. We got one person in the chat. Let's see if we got a comment. Nice. I appreciate you saying nice. I appreciate it. Let's see. Who is that? Owen Johns 6301. I appreciate you saying nice. I got 2 likes. Appreciate it. Got a little more sideways than I wanted to there pulling out. I think, that's just the car enthusiast in me wanting to get some stress off my shoulders. It's been kind of a wild night. I'm not going to dig into any personal shit. Nobody cares about that. You know what I'm saying? But, the burnouts help. The burnouts always help. Ain't no time you're not going to be smiling doing a burnout, right? Doing a burnout, a skid, getting sideways. You're never going to complain. You have a welded diff, right? So I have a mini spool. So yeah, it's fully locked all times, but it's a mini spool. And I'm kind of biased, but I weld and fabricate for trade, but I think a mini spool is the best way to go compared to a welded diff. I think as much welding gas, shielding gas, wire that you use, cleaning fluid, and torching gas to preheat, post-heat, clean, and all that, I think a mini spool is the way to go for sure. But yes, I am running a locked rear with factory 373s. That is my setup in the rear diff. But I appreciate you guys, paying attention to the chat, leaving some comments, some likes. It is very motivating. And, your boy's out here just not doing the most. I'm not putting out something too interesting as far as like a modification right now, but I want to shoot the shit with the chat, try and reach more viewers, see what you guys are working on, because I care about that, right? I don't care just about my build. I care about your guys' builds. I like to throw 2 cents in back and forth if we can help each other out. If anybody's having issues or want to modify something and want my 2 cents if I'm experiencing it and they're not, right? So I just like to reach out in the comments. Let's see. Good point. Mini spools are pretty cheap. Yeah, I got my mini spool for like 43 bucks, man. Can't complain. On eBay, 43 bucks, that's nothing. The last one I got, my other S10, is probably like 45, 46, is a few years before. Can't complain. But if you do the math with, like I said, cleaning fluids, your time, cutting the plates out, welding them in, preheating, post-heating, all that, mini spool's the way to go. Mini spool's the way to go, no doubt. I'm not the biggest fan on, posi track systems with like a clutch locker on the rear end. I think that's, a lot more money involved on a budget aspect. I don't think that's the way to go. I'd recommend welding a diff over that. But I'd recommend mini spool over welding the diff. Let's check this comment. I put a clutch LSD in my S10, more expensive, but I didn't want to live with a spool. I feel that for sure. And I think, I'm going to give you props to that you went out of your way to spend the extra money for comfortability with your daily. I'm assuming it's probably daily. Let's see. Did you say daily? No, you didn't say daily, but, I think that, an LSD has its place. The only issue I have with an LSD is it's not going to engage as fast as something that's locked up all the time, right? You have that, that split second where it's not engaged and it locks up, when you're given the RPMs and then it spools up, hits that locker, design. I don't know. I'm not against him. My pops is old school. He's kind of with the LSD setup. He prefers that, but you can't run regular diff fluid in there. You have to run the special fluid for it because it will prematurely wear out the clutch plates in there. And then the rear end, the cheapest LSG that you can get your hands on nowadays, if I had to guess, I haven't looked into them. Yes, you're probably 350, 450 for the cheapest, like maybe a Yukon or the cheapest setup you can get. I don't know. I feel like a LSD is not the way to go for some setups, but I don't knock everyone for them because they're comfortable for a daily. It's rough with a mini spool, and my girl talks trash about it. It rides rough, right? Let's check these comments. Nice, you have a, let's see, good point. Mini spools are pretty cheap. I put a clutch LHT my S10. All right, yeah, it's a daily, and I don't want to try to drift it. Okay, fair enough. If you're not trying to drift it and you're trying to daily it, an LSD is 100% the best way to go, and you got your mind right on that. If you're not trying to drift it, you're not trying to get sideways all the time, an LSD is the best way to go. You want some traction because if you're not putting a ballast in the back of the truck to get some extra weight, they're way too light, and you're going to be burning rubber when you don't want to half the time. You're at a stoplight, it's raining, and there's the smallest grade of uphill. You're just burning rubber for like 5-10 seconds till the tires heat up, you burn the water under them, and then you start get going, right? So it can be frustrating. So I think LSD has its place for sure in the S10 community with the folks that are not trying to slide them all the time. I like you putting that out there. Let's see. But I'm curious on your S10, Owen Johns 6301. Is yours? I don't know if I asked this already. My mind's kind of all over the place right now. But is yours a regular cab short bed? You've got an extended cab, long bed, or what's your combo setup on your S10? I'm curious. Definitely curious. And if you folks want to see the build, if you are new to the channel, let me know. Leave a comment, say like, I'm new, I'd like to see the build. I can hop out of the cab, show you an exterior view of the truck. I can pop the hood. I only got 2 likes, so if I get any more likes for after 2, or comments, I'll hop out the truck, let you guys see the build, if you'd be interested. $19.94 regular cab with a 2.2 5-speed manual, 410K miles. Hey, bro, 410K miles. I'm going to put that in the forefront right now. That shows how reliable these engines are. These platforms, S10. Bro, 410K miles. Tough. All I got to say about that right now, bro, tough. All right, let's get to the rest of what you said. So 1994, my first S10 was a 97. Okay, 94. Wait, 94. I think that's the first year of the second gen. I think they went from 94 to 04. That's the 10-year span. Sick, bro. Sick. You hopped in it early with the year on that one. 5-speed manual, which is sick, dude. That's what mine is. My last one was a automatic AC version. I don't remember the model. It was like the higher trim model where it had carpet, automatic, all that, AC, tilt, steering column, all that. This one, non-tilt steering column, non-AC base model, had rubber carpet, total base model truck. But I prefer it for a drift setup for sure. It's lighter, simpler, less under the hood going on. But that is awesome, man. Thinking about 410,000 miles on an S10 2.2. I mean, I see it all day long, bro. I see it all day long for sure, no doubt. They're reliable, dude. Reliable. The 4.3s are reliable. I've had worse luck with them, but you can't always go off of your experience with a secondhand vehicle that's been neglected, right? If you don't know the history of a secondhand vehicle and you're just like, oh, it's a POS, this, that, the other, you don't know what's happened before you got it. So you can't blame it all on the design. and all that. It could be neglect from the previous owner. So I think that's my bad experience with the 4.3s, because they are bulletproof from what everyone else says, and they're fast, bro. They're fast. Let's see, do I got any other comments? Mine is all base model too, but it does have AC. Interesting. I'm curious, so if yours is base model but has AC, does it have carpet or does it have the rubber flooring instead of carpet? Mine has the black, mine's a 2000. It's got the blackish, the dark gray, I'm pretty sure is black, rubber carpet, 5-speed, obviously, no AC. And then I have the dark gray dash. My old 97 had the different dash, had like the more square dash, which I think I prefer way more. I think it looks better, which was like a light gray. And I kind of miss that, honestly. But is your AC working? I'm curious, Owen, if your AC is working in that rig, or if you plan to get it working, or if you're going to delete it. My AC in my red one, it wasn't working at the time, but I was living in Washington State, so I wasn't too stressed out about it, right? And so I just deleted it for a little bit of power gains, right? A little bit of parasitic draws off of the engine. Took the compressor off, shorter belt, did that jazz. But I didn't take the rest off of like the firewall. I kind of left all that shit there. I probably could have recharged it and it probably would have held pressure. I should have tried it, honestly. But, your boy's going for weight reduction and performance, so I wasn't stressing too much in the Pacific Northwest. But if your AC's working and you are in a state where you're probably going to need it, I would definitely keep it in there. Because, you're not getting any more than like 2 horsepower out of deleting your AC. So if it works, I'd keep it in there, Oh, yeah, bro, the AC works. Oh, dude, that's cush. Dude, in a little S10 with the AC working, you are freezing in there. That's a little freezer, bro. That's a little deep freeze. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that your AC works. A lot of these AC systems, from the late 90s, early 2000s, they're still kicking pretty decent, I had a 98/99. It was a split year Tahoe, and the AC in it needed just a little bit of recharge, and it worked, like no problem, man. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes you get lucky. But I appreciate you sitting here in the chat, watching the video. I know we're not getting too crazy with anything super interesting with the content. We're just kind of shooting the shit with the chat. But we got 2 likes and 1 viewer, and I really appreciate that. If you haven't seen before, I will hop out the truck. I can show the exterior of the truck, show under the hood. If you'd like to see the engine bay, just let me know. Leave a comment, and I will do that for you, man. I would go out sliding a little bit more. I'm trying to be careful. I think my back tires are all right with it being wet tonight. It hasn't been wet lately with the rain. So I think I'll be all right sliding rear since I got the camper shell off. But I'm so heavily cambered on the front and I'm showing wires. Your boy a little bit nervous. I'm going to have to put one of the spares on and have a blowout. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to deal with that, but who knows? If the chat's pushing it enough, I might get out a little bit and slide. I do have the camera mount set up here. I do have also let me swap this around, folks. I do have the tripod here as well. So let me know if it comes down to it, your boy might hook it up in the mount and do a little bit of sliding. But leave some comments, let me know. I'll pop the hood. Let's see. I appreciate your videos. Nice of YouTube to show me someone who messes with the 2.2 motor. I appreciate that comment. And yes, that is what the channel is all about, is the 2.2. I don't care how big the channel gets. I'm going to support the 2.2. And I want the 2.2 to have a bigger aftermarket platform, performance parts for it, right? I want aftermarket support bigger than what it is now. It was bigger back in the day with like the Cavaliers going on and all that. Cavaliers have died out heavily. They are way less common than even S10s. And so it's kind of sad that the 2.2 LN2 is dying out. I think the OHV, this setup is a pretty good motor, and it's a fun platform to drift in the truck. You know, it's just enough power to get sideways and have a great time doing so. And I'm hoping that I bring more folks to the platform that can enjoy it and not hate on it so much, because a lot of guys nowadays and girls just think that power's everything. You have to have 500 plus horse to have fun in a rig, and that's not the case, especially in the wet. Definitely not the case. Let's see. I thought I had another comment, but that's not, it was like some AI stuff with the YouTube. I don't even know what that was. I could only read half of it and then disappeared, but who knows. But I appreciate the 2 people watching, the 2 likes. Let's hop out the truck, man. I don't have to have a comment or a like. I'm not sitting here pushing for so many comments, likes, whatever. I'm going to give you the content you want. I'm going to hop out the truck real quick, folks. We're going to hop out the truck. Here, I'm going to give you this view real quick so it's a little more interesting. Get a little bit of that green light. All right. So, the double din. We're going to swipe that bad boy off, right? I got this for free, folks, from a cool cat off a marketplace. It was given to him. He worked at Panasonic, right? Given to him for free with a couple other folks. Period correct. This is like at least a decade old. And I got it not too long ago. Period correct. I think it's pretty cool. Let's hop out the truck. We're going to roll the window down because I have PTSD from locking myself out in the truck with it running in the winter. That's just a thing I do. I think it's kind of funny, so I'm going to mention that. But we're going to pop the hood. I got to get a new cable, honestly, for my hood because as much as I pop it, this shit is worn out. I've stretched this cable out more than it already was when I first got the truck 2 years ago. So I think it's past due to change that out here soon. I might throw some struts so I don't have to do the actual hood rod up under the front. I love the truck, dude. TS, it's nice. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is the truck, folks. This is the truck. I'll throw it. Y'all want me to hook the underglow up before I pop this hood? I got 2 folks watching, 2 likes. Here. So right now I don't have it hardwired. I have it set up for my cigarette lighter because I think right now it's a little more convenient than having the remote set up. We're going to plug this in, right? It's on. Check this out, guys. I got lights for in the cab, under the seat, under the dash, all that. I have to Bluetooth it to get it going. But what y'all think, folks? That's an Amazon special there. $25. It's originally like $40. I managed to get it on sale for like $25. Wired it up. Took a few hours to get it wired up right. But you know, we're working with a little bit of S10 stuff going on, guys. But bear with me. I'm gonna pop the hood. It's gonna look like trash right now, but I'll get the light on for you guys. All right, whoever's watching, I appreciate y'all. Let me check so I got 6%. I'll have to get back in the truck here shortly so the chat doesn't cut out and get too spotty, because I know it will do that when my battery's below 10%. Okay, I got Ben Stuff said I got a 1977 Chevy El Camino, about to finish LS swapping it. It's super bratty, but I love it. Bro, I have a mad love for the Caminos. A Camino is very similar to an S10, bro. Very similar. You know, mad love for the El Caminos. I've had some buddies. My pops had a couple El Caminos. He had a small block, a big block. You know, I love the bed in the back. Very similar to, like, you know, a hard body Nissan, something like that. But mad love to the El Caminos. Damn right. Yes, it's cooler though. LOL. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I always think of, what's funny is I always think of My Name is Earl when I think of El Caminos. Man, that was a show I used to watch back in the day. But this is the setup, guys. If you got any questions, I'll show you, you know, performance ignition system, end-to-end, bigger throttle body, cold air intake, E-fan mod. We got steering shaft by Hooker header. We got a header on there, downpipe, cat delete, Borla exhaust, all the jazz. I think I mentioned the E-fan mod. You know, we hacked up the core support. It's a true cold air intake. all of the lighting's actually hidden. You can't see any of it, so it's actually proper. 33 mil front sway bar off of a 2-wheel drive Blazer. We got the rear sway bar off of like a S10 Extreme or whatever I got from the junkyard, right? They taxed me on it, but I got it under there. I need to get some polyurethane bushings for it. For both sway bars, I only have the end links on the front that are polyurethane from Energy Suspension, but that's the build, folks. That's the build. We are part of the way there, tuning with HB tuners, lightweight flywheel, stage 2 clutch, all that jazz. The master cylinder for the clutch, I did swap out the plastic and I found an option to go with a steel one, a metal cast one, so I did that. Brand new line, all that shit. Trying to think of what else, I'm missing here. There's a lot that I'm going to overlook, guys. Like these wires, they don't look like much. They're 10 millimeter like OML wires, but they were like $140. That's a lot for 4 wires. They're quality, made in USA, real heavy, almost like solid copper. You know what I'm saying? Got the sexy header in there. It's kind of dirty. I need to sand it up and polish it. I'll probably make a video on that. Let me check the comments before I ramble on too much. Love the truck, dude. It is nice. I appreciate that. Appreciate the videos of YouTube. Show someone who messed with 2.2. Let's see. I read that. Love it, dude. I'm a subscriber now. I appreciate you sharing and will for sure be back to check out more of your stuff. I appreciate that. Ben Stuff slash FH6TK. I appreciate you saying that. And I hope you follow the build. The build is sick. Gonna be moving this battery in the back. Probably gonna do a lightweight battery. I'm hoping that I get sponsored to do a lightweight battery. Possibly throw it back here in the bed behind the seat. I'm not quite sure. I want to get it out of here though because I'm trying to free up all the space, folks, for just nothing but intercooling setup for turbos, right? So, but yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think. Camber's pretty tough. I'm turned a little bit right now, so you can't quite see it here, but I'm sitting about 10 degrees negative on both sides. Passenger side's a little bit heavier, but yeah, leave a comment what you folks think. She rips, man. She rips. Got this exhaust cut out by myself, teardrop kind of style. I think it looks slick. It's a little bit tilted back, so I took my time with the fit up on that to make sure that it cleared the body and doesn't rub, and it has like that good cut. And that's all done with like a Sawzall grinder, and that was free tubing I got. I still kind of probably want to hack off a little more on the bottom so it's a little bit of a sharper turn, you know what I'm saying? Cut off a little more there. That time will come. But sporting HP tuners, of course, I'm tuning. And the Borla Pro XS muffler up under there sounds good. It's the best muffler I've ever had for any rig. Definitely recommend it for the OHV 2.2. I'm going to close the hood and check the comments. It's a little bit cold, so your boy is shivering a little bit. I'm in this cheap-ass little Champion hoodie over here. So we're going to get in the cab and get toasty. We have an Icon Motorsports hood vent from eBay. I got on sale, but I cut the hood. It is like proper. It's real. It's not for show. It's like the real deal. It's for show and for purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's cool because you can see like the underglow in there. I think it's cool anyways. Let me know what you guys think. Does that hood scoop look cool or does it look trashy? I like JDM stuff. I like American builds, but I think the mashup looks pretty sick, right? I think it looks not too bad, to be real with you. Not too bad. Gonna do a custom air dam valence up under the bottom once I'm boosted. Gonna give it a custom look, but for now, this is what I'm going with. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do skirts. I kind of like the low profile, short look of the truck, but I do not like how the frame sags lower than the truck itself, just like the S10 Blazers do. So we're gonna kind of see about that. I don't know, I might skirt the damn thing. We'll see. We got 2 viewers. We're gonna hop in the cab, get toasty, and see what anybody has said, if they've said anything. Let's see. What are the wheels? Okay, so Sean Scott, if you are still watching Sean Scott, the wheels came off of, I got on my Facebook Marketplace. They were from an old boy. They were off of an old hot rod, right? Like an old hot rod van is what he said. I looked them up. So their Appliance is the brand. The style, the model is Diamag. I think they're kind of going off of like Diamond Magnum, right? Or like Diamond Mag, because there's like diamond shapes in it. But anyways, they aren't that shiny normally. I hand sanded them and polished them with mother's polish to get them to look that good. They normally have grooves in them from the CNC machining or whatever, and they don't look like as shiny. They kind of CNC them and then clear coat them so they're shiny, but they're not like a mirror finish like a chrome like how I have them. But they're kind of rare nowadays. Apparently, from my knowledge, what my dad said is he knows a little bit about them, but he said that they weren't super popular back in the day. They were kind of like a budget brand. I could be mistaken. He could be mistaken, but from his knowledge, they were a budget brand, and a lot of them weren't super sought after. So I think a lot of them probably got crushed and melted for scrap. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of rare. I've looked them up on eBay to find a set, the same set I have polished. The last I checked was like $800. I got them for $160, but they were kind of rough. But they had tires on them that I could use at the time, and that's what I really needed. I needed rims and tires as a combo right then and there on Marketplace, and that's what happened. So it worked out, and I was attracted to them because they look like BBSs, and I'm gonna follow through with it. I think they look good. I'm gonna finish polish them up, get some knockoff caps I could put in there, aluminum caps, maybe machined by a company that say BBS. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe they would custom machine them to the specs. I could get my calipers, get all the exact specs of what it would take to click them in, and have them laser BBS in there, inlay some kind of emblem, if that's possible. We'll see. But anyways, I don't want to get too off topic. Damn, the fumes in this cab. I gotta figure out, so I know I have a few leaks in the cab and the floorboard. There's a few spots where some fumes can leak in, and because I have a header leak from the header to the downpipe, so I'm getting way more fumes in the cab than normal, sadly, which fucking sucks. And that shit comes loose every couple months. I'll red Loctite it and thread it up real tight. It'll stay good for a few months, but I'm drifting around and stuff. It gets hot, rattles so much, it kind of backs off, and it's like a slight leak. But it comes in the cab a lot more because I don't have the grommets. All right, the phone died, folks. Not sure if it's going to glitch out. My phone just popped back up with charging it up, so we're gonna see how it works out. We're gonna go for a little bit of a cruise, and nothing but good vibes, guys. Let me know if you are working on your 2.2s, if you're gonna do a V8 swap, V6 swap, if you're considering modifying your 2.2 liter, because your boy's here to encourage you to work on your 4-cylinder. Not every time you want to put a V8 in every rig, right? So I'm hoping you guys, follow along with the build, and that it encourages you and motivates you to just do your thing, man, and not care about what everyone else says with their opinions with overpowered rigs, V8s, this, that, the other. Because coming from the South in Texas and muscle cars as my main introduction into the car scene, I think that they are overrated to a degree, with the cockiness of everybody nowadays that just has all the money to just not care, or that's all they care about is power and they don't know how to drive, right? So if you know how to drive, that's a big deal. Because a lot of folks that can't properly drive, just like with the dirt bike that can't ride, they try to use power to compensate. But the power doesn't always compensate, right, folks? If you know how to do the right modifications for your 4-cylinder that's underpowered, it will get just as sideways as a high-power rig. You might not be pulling Brodies and slides as far as the folks in the dry, but you're having damn near as much fun and sometimes more in a low-power rig. Because I tell you what, driving something slow fast is way more fun than driving something fast slow. And I know that is a common saying, and that's something that a lot of guys have heard, but a lot of guys and gals have not put that in context and really thought about it. Like, okay, you know, does that actually make sense? You know, like, is my opinion and viewpoint in 2025 skewed because of social media and all the overbuilt cars out here that are pushing 1,000+ horsepower? You know, like, is my viewpoint skewed beyond like what's realistic of what's fun and cool? And the answer is yes. I think that the viewpoint of 90% or at least 80% of folks nowadays is skewed because of social media's bullshit. You know, that goes along with anything, any niche in life, especially in the car culture, because a lot of folks think like, oh, you don't have 500,000 horsepower or whatever, like your rig's slow. Like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, back in the day, 400 horsepower was insane. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's still the case. You know, you can still have something with sub 400 horsepower that's fast as fucking fun, right? It's not going to compete with some old boy that has daddy's money and a 300K build, but you're going to have fun with you and your friends, or you and your old lady, or you and your kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's important. Keeping up with the Joneses and trying to sit here and compete with folks that doesn't matter, that you don't even know, that shit's pointless, guys. And a lot of people got to get that in their heads with just every aspect in life, rather it's their automotive, their automotive passions, I should say, rather it's their house, rather it's their career, or what they do for hobbies in general, rather it's non-automotive related. I think that a lot of people don't live their lives to the full extent because they're worried about the outside perspective of others, which is bullshit, because genuinely that's gonna just create deep down depression, and you can't openly admit it, so you're gonna be living a lie. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to live a lie. Oh man, I'm so glad. I really wanted to hit that skid, folks, and there was a motherfucking sheriff sitting right there. I swear on everything, folks. Is that bitch following me right now? If that bitch is following me right now, I swear to God, I'm gonna leave that son of a bitch on a turn after turn fiasco for fun. Y'all wanna see that? Y'all wanna see me lead the sheriff on for some fun? I'll hit turn after turn just to fuck with him, because we live in America and I know my rights. He wants to profile me and follow me because of my style of the truck, folks. Let's see what's up. He's fucking following behind me, folks. We are going to leave this cocksucker on a little turnaround ski. Y'all are gonna follow me live here at the Portland with the Portland bullshit. We're gonna see. The Portland PD is pretty chill, but I can't speak on the old sheriff, so we're gonna see what he's about. Cause if he's trying to be on some BS, I don't know, folks. We're gonna see. We're gonna see, folks. We're gonna turn up here pretty soon. Did he turn away? Brody knows what's up. Hey, I'm not gonna sit here and talk trash to no boy. If he stopped following the S10, he knows what's up. I think he ran the plates or checked the plates, looked at my tags, and was probably like, all right, he's good. You know what I'm saying? I thought he's going to profile me, folks. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes when you're something modified, kind of lowered, they will follow you. Like a month ago, I had a fucking sheriff, dude. He followed me for like 5 miles, dude. And it was gruesome. It was like 2 in the morning. You know, your boy was tired. I was not trying to have nobody follow me, right? Bullshit. But let's park back here, see if we got any comments. I know it's been a little bit since I peeked on the comments, and I'm not trying to ignore nobody because I don't like being ignored. So I'm gonna tap in on it, folks that are watching, because I appreciate every single one of you. Whether you're watching, you're liking, commenting, any of it, all 3, all 2. Appreciate it. Let's see. All right, we don't have no new comments in the chat, but that's all right. Let me know if you folks want to see up under the hood. You want a POV outside the truck. I'll make that happen. I have the suction mount. I have the tripod. I can get anything going for you folks. If you're interested in the build, I will do that. Just leave a like, a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. I'll make it happen. Can always pop this light up for a minute. I'm gonna hop out the cab here in a second if you folks might be interested in the build, but I will pop the hood if I get one more comment from from someone that is interested. I'll pop the hood. If not, that's cool. Leave a comment if you want to mention your build. If you have any questions about my build, about the channel, where I'm coming from, where I'm going, what I'm at currently, I'd appreciate any type of comment, feedback. That would be solid.